Hi, and welcome to the Market Alert for Tuesday, the 4th of August 2020. So the Nasdaq surges yesterday to another record high despite dollar surge as well. Everything is awesome. Well, is it? And again, thanks to Sam Boogaloo, a great friend and trader of many years, sent me this note overnight. I just need to bring this down a bit, I think, so you can see the headline there. Treasury to borrow additional 2.2 trillion through 2020 to fund relief packages. So yeah, everything's awesome, isn't it? It can be when you keep printing money. But as I've said before, it will end. I don't know when, but when it does, it will be spectacular. That's all there is to say about this. The detail is in there if you want to pause it and have a look. But again, 2.2 trillion is required to fund relief packages to the end of 2020. And then goodness knows what happens in 2021. But they just keep buying up everything. As it says here, everything is awesome. Perception is everything. So let's have a look at yesterday, see what the market did. And we'll start off with the German DAX in the 2-minute chart. Have a look at the trades. When the market opened yesterday morning, I thought, blimey, here we go. It's going to be sideways. And it did start off sideways. There was a real battle going on, trying to move the market higher. And then we had the potential weakness there at the BRN, which you can see that we had before. We've also got this 200 bar moving average and the DP level, which I'd already spoken of in yesterday morning's alert. So I'm going to fast forward through this because the first trade we had a potential sell signal, and as soon as we got to the entry just below this, we had to contend with the 200 MA and the DP level, which is it takes some getting through. If it goes through, it goes well. If it doesn't, it does what it did yesterday morning, where we see the market fill the trade and then come straight back and take the trade out. And I thought we were going to have a morning where prices were going to continue sideways, but as with trading in probabilities, you take every trade and the market will pay you back for this, because that's how it works. If you pick and choose trades, then you will never make consistent profits in the market. So then we had a potential buy signal. The volume is still high. The market came off the highs in this bar, but it's still above the 20 bar, 5 bar, and I've got the 200 MA and the DP. And I know that the 200 MA now is going to support me because prices hadn't broken this. So when I tried the short signal. So what we need to see is the market drive through the BRN, through the resistance to the left where we saw prices move lower, and then through the first target price and onwards and upwards. That's what we're looking for in this potential trade setup. Prices trades sideways, and there's still some potential weakness there. And this trade then disappears off the screen because it wasn't filled within the 3 bars, and we got the potential weakness there. And then prices traded back down to the 200 bar moving average, and look what happens when it does this. We see the buying coming into the market with the green volume bar there, and then prices start to turn around. We get a potential buy signal, and again look at the support at the 200 bar moving average, and even in this bar again the volume has increased as prices have moved higher. And it's important to watch this on a bar by bar basis. The market then trades up to the psychological level, the BRN. It comes back, and again, this is something that I've spoken about many times in the market alert. Watch as prices come back to the 20 bar moving average, and if they fail to close below this level and close back like you're seeing here, then again you'll see a small uptick in volume as well as prices came down. So look, we need to have a look and make sure that there aren't any more traders that are trying to go short and take this market through the 200 MA. They come back, have a look at it, and then move prices to the upside. And now what we're looking for is the market to break through the psychological level, and I've marked up these other 2 areas of resistance as well, so that I know what I'm expecting to see here. And to get through any resistance, you've got to drive through with professional buying. And you see the volume then increase sharply there. I've moved the stop to break even. Prices continue to drive higher. Now the R1 and the high, I spoke about this in yesterday's market alert when I said step back, have a look at the bigger picture. And I know the R1 is the area that I'm looking for this market to trade to. And then of course we've got the high beyond this as well. So there's no panic, there's no big deal. The market's coiled in a sideways move for quite some time. And if you take the length of this and actually project it upwards, it tends to actually equal where the market is likely to trade to as well. So prices struggle a bit. They start to trade sideways. They come back down to the BRN, which you'll see in just a moment. And then prices drive through once more. And now we're getting towards the R1 level, which again I looked at yesterday. And as prices approach the R1, you'll see they're exiting the trade for a nice profit on this trade. And everything is green. Everything is holding above, apart from this one bar here that closed below. Was the momentum was to the upside in this market. And then you'll see the potential weakness come in as the bar completes just there. So that takes care of the morning session. I think we move on to the afternoon, if I recall. Each trading day is just merges into the next, and in the afternoon it was also interesting as well. We started off with a potential sell signal there, the market filling this, and it was a case of having to make a judgment here because there was profits on the table. And I thought, well, what I'll do is see if I can get the stop to break even, which I did, because we've got this news coming out at 3 p.m. and it's high impact as well. And, you know, you can see there, I'll just bring that back a bit somewhere around here. If I can find it. There you go, move the stop to break even. And then prices continued low, and I thought, well, this is great. You know, we're okay here, but as you'll see here, we got the green bar. So I know that the shorts were taking profits. Now, I didn't take the profit. I could have done, but I was hoping that before the news, we would have seen prices come back up and then reverse and then head down to this area here. But that wasn't to be the case. What I want and what I get is two different things, and the market comes back and takes out the trade, and then we have a potential buy signal. Now we're getting close to the news, and I suppose really should have sat on my hands here, but I decided I would take the trade, and the market came back, and then we had a potential sell signal, and now we're getting close. So it was a case of just pulling the trade and just waiting to see what happened with the news. So let's just move forward to the news release. So this one here, a small loss, break even on this one, and then this one I didn't trade because we were going into the high impact news item, which you'll see here. We've got a potential buy signal, and I'm trying to get the figures as quickly as possible just to see that it's been released. It's irrelevant of what the actual data is because there we go. So it came out positive. Most occasions now, I mean, even Friday, the news was good and the market still dropped 200 points. So I just want to know it's been released. That's the main thing. Once it's out of the way, then I can trade what I see on the chart. And so we had a potential long here. And coming back to the daily chart, I'm having a look now to see where we are in the bigger picture. Now, yesterday in the market alert, as I've already said here, you know, step back, have a look at the bigger picture, see where you are, see where all the targets are. And yesterday morning, I said in the market alert, the market had a lot to do. It had to take out this high to get to the 62% retracement. And yet, here we are heading towards it. I didn't think the market would do that, but, you know, again, what do I know? The market decided that was going to be the case. So I was having a look at the daily chart to make sure that I knew where I was in the bigger picture. And this is really important because you can get bogged down in a 2-minute chart and not realize where where you are in the bigger picture. It's really important to have that bigger picture. So now we're heading towards the R2. Now we've got some selling in here, and this is some serious selling coming into the market here. So I've moved the stop to break even. And the reason for this, again, if you go back to last week's market alerts, where I talk about using the 5-bar moving average as an indication of momentum. And remember, if the prices come back below the 5 or trade to it, it's amazing how it's been using this to turn around and then head north again, as you'll see. So prices were sideways, and then we had the selling, and then the buying came back in to support this. The 5-bar moving average is still below the low of these price bars, and then as we approach the BRN, we managed to move through this, and we've got further potential weakness coming in at this level. But the R2 is at the 62% retracement in the daily chart. So again, you'll see prices, there you go, you can see it. So there I went and had a look to see where it was, and then prices trade to the R2 level, already out of the market as prices are doing this, as the market's rallying towards this target. And then let's just move along. There was one final trade which I didn't do because I was on a call and missed this. So we had a potential sell at the R2. You've got all of this potential weakness here, which is at the 62% retracement in the daily chart. So a good area for a short trade there. And you'll then see the market come down to the scalp level, and then you watch the volume bars now, and you'll see, again, look in isolation, you'll see this bar here, the volume is greater than it's been for the previous bars where there's not been a lot. A good indication they are buying back at this time and to take the profits as we head into the 4 p.m. close. Okay, so that's yesterday's trades. Let's have a look at see where we are overnight. This is the 2-minute chart overnight, and you can see prices have gapped higher, and then they've sat on the previous day's high. Again, it's important that you know where these areas are. Nice bit of volume in this bar here. You can see this certainly stopped the up move, and then there was a shakeout down to the previous day's close, and also the BRN as well, and prices have held there. So let's just move forward through the night, see where we are. And again, it's very important to do this. I'm just going to shrink down the volume window there, and I'm going to just collapse everything so I can see where I am in the bigger picture. So at the moment I can see that prices are trading towards the previous day's high. They're now back above the previous day's close, and they're above the DP level. They're also above the 200 MA, which if I reset the chart now, you will see that prices came down to this level and found some buying support down here too. So at the moment the market is now heading back towards that the previous day's high, which is when the market opens, if it comes back down to the 200 and prices move back to the upside, that's what I'm looking for. And conversely, if we break the 200 MA, the close, and this BRN, which had huge support during the overnight, then I will be looking for prices to head down to this BRN and the DP down here, should prices get into any sort of selling momentum. So I know where I am to start with. Before I even put a trade on, I have to know where I am in the bigger picture. I've got to have some sense of what could happen and is likely to happen. So here we can see now, when we look at the daily chart, prices are back above the 5-bar moving average. They closed yesterday. They're sitting at the 62% retracement in the daily chart, which is also in with the high of yesterday as well. So I know there's a bit of a resistance here. I go back and you can see prices now are starting to make their assault early towards this level. So it'll be interesting to see whether this holds, purely and simply because of what we've got in the daily chart. This is, again, I keep like a broken record, but it is important to know where these levels are. Okay, so let's finish off, because I've gone on a lot in this video, let's have a look at the implied volatility, and you can see here the option sellers. I don't see too much on the risk on the downside at the moment as well, which adds to what we've just looked at in the daily chart. The options are the cheapest they've been since the outbreak of COVID, where they shot up to 21.32 on the implied volatility scale. The lower this figure goes, the bigger the correction will be when we get towards September, October as well. So I don't mind if it comes back down to these levels. 10% is the magic level, but I don't know whether we can get down to this or not, because post-COVID there is still a lot of volatility in the market. That said, who knows? Never ever an expectation trade what you see, but have a certain set of rules to guide the signals. Right, and in the visual version again, you can see we're back to green. So yeah, let's wait and see what happens going forward. But it looks like at the moment the momentum is to the upside. Bring the markets back for September, and then when everybody returns from the vacation season, then the party will start. It can actually start in August as well. I've seen this before. I think it was 2016 when the Dow dropped 1,000 points in the pre-market session when everybody was away. So again, you know, you have these expectations. There is a seasonality to these things, but we're not in normal times at the moment, that's for sure. Now, one other thing to throw into the pot today, it is No News Tuesday. No News Tuesdays, and also all of the news from the weekend is factored into the market. It can be slightly quiet, so be warned of this. That's just how it works. And also the market may wish to wait for the ADP non-farm payroll for tomorrow as well. So again, you know, you have to know all of these things and just throw them into the mix. So if the market's sideways when we kick off at 8 a.m, then you'll know why, and if it's quiet through the morning as well. Okay, that's it for this one. As ever, thanks for watching. See you in the next one.